And as the room fill up, be sure to hit the like, share this content, let friends and neighbors know where to go when it's time. Tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. This is like a pregame. You got to preheat the oven a little bit, right? Come on with it. And as this thing get going, all we hope is everyone can be healthy throughout this game, and we can do the evaluation for the nation. Come on with it. Yup. They say, really, ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation's Groove? From my studios to yours, brought to you by Prize Picks and Beyond. Let's get it, Cowboy Nation. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on. All right. Run. Countdown for your mind. Appreciate you, and you. Come on, baby. Five, 4, 3, 2, and hold on. Come on, baby. Yeah. Hold on. Come on with it. Yeah. Now it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Appreciate you. All right. All right, Cowboy Nation. First game of the year, the preseason game. And, of course, we got a few things that we got to look at. We want certain players to, show us something that they've been giving us a little bit, a little bit of shine here, a little bit of shine there. But we want to see a little bit more out of a selective few players. Of course, they did the joint practice this week. And there was a few things that stood out, like, we saw Mazi improve on his hands, right? We saw Nate Pete right here run the ball and get a touchdown. We saw some good throws from Trey Lance and some fairly decent good throws from Cooper Rush here. So, and, of course, there was Ryan Flo. He got back into the flow this week. So, hopefully we get a chance in a situation to see him out there. Players to watch out for this particular preseason. Of course, we want to see John Stevens. Can he continue to excel? Leofau, can he take on that role as the linebacker? Can he pretty much give us something, right? We just looking for something. And Ken Carson's stand tall or not at all, right? Cooper Beebe, we really, really, really wanting to see what he can bring to the table. Can Cropper as well be that guy that can continue to excel? Brooks, can we throw in the fact that we want to see Tolbert as well? And as far as running back, we just need to see something, man. We need to see something. And, of course, Trigger Trey, we got to see something from just a little bit, just let me get a little bit, You don't have to see it all, just a little bit, because I'm going to be real with y'all. We were very impressed with Caleb Williams, right? Who saw Caleb Williams for the Chicago Bears, And he looked really good. He looked really good, even though sample size is preseason, and you can only take this with a grain of salt. But, J.J. McCarthy, we saw that rookie, Bo Nix, he just got through finished playing here. So we want to see something from Trey. And the craziest thing of it all, Trey Lance is still younger than Bo Nix. He's still younger than the Michael kid that's got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. So he's still developing. So we need to see something. And then far as this defense, we had a nasty taste in our mouth last season about stopping the run. So we got to see something like that, right? Calm down. This is my guy Sean. It says calm down on Metro Williams. Yeah. Hey, you're not finna get me canceled, especially during election season and all of that stuff. Hey, you're not finna get me canceled. But I give it what you're saying, though. Yeah. Calm down. Yeah. Shout out to you, Paul. So those are things that we're looking at. We'll be tuning in back and forth. Let me know if you guys can hear audio from here.
Upgraded snaps. He came from the UFL, so he's already put in a season. He's had a cup of tea in the NFL, then practice squads, but he hasn't really played in games. He's going to get a big opportunity in this game tonight. UFL, he was the leading tackler. Daryl Johnson told me he reminds me of Sam Mills, who played for years in the NFL.
Ooh.
A smaller linebacker. Harvey's just 5'11", 230, undersized, but he's got a knack to find the ball. So I'll be interested to see how he does against another.
Can y'all hear? Spagnola? Yeah. Broadus said Mazi is having a bad camp. According, like how? Like what is he having bad? What is identifiable as bad? That's what I need to know. Like, what is identifiable as bad? Because I like Brian Broadus. He's a good guy. I trust his football acumen. But I trust mine too. You know what I'm saying? But what is he considering bad though? I need to know. I want to know. Like, what do he consider bad? And I need to know. Like, is his burst and his get off is slower than what it was last year? So, or is his hand placement wrong? Is his pad levels too high? Do we get insight analysis on what makes a bad camp opposed to a good camp? But I appreciate you, Swayze. I need to know, man, because at the end of the day, the ideology of a interior one tech is to take on double teams, right? Is to occupy A gap or B gap if he slide over, and is for others to eat. So to be real with it, if he's going up against Tyler Smith and he's having a bad situation and he's not beating Tyler Smith, then, hey, that's an all-pro guy that he's going up against. If he's going up against Zach Martin and he can't get home to the quarterback, then that's an all-pro Zach Martin, So that's how I got to look at it, and that's how y'all should look at it. Now, if this is the situation, if Mazi can't outperform and beat Brock Hoffman, then, yeah, I'll give it to Brian Broadus on that. But it's one of those things where it's very subjective, and I'm looking at it like this. And I'm not trying to lay it up for Mazi and say, okay, all right, he can walk on water. That's not me. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But what I'm telling y'all, with my natural eyes, that's why it's so important for us to be out here, is that it's 1,000% good to see Mazi being the first one out there on the field. It's good to see that after practice he getting hand works, he keeping his elbows tucked inside, right? And we got to quantify the fact that this is his second season coming off of a situation whereas he lost some pounds and he grew on it back, right? So those are things that I have to identify with. But I would take everybody's word with a grain of salt because it is what it is. At some point in time, I remember, I'm old enough to remember that same person says Lyle Collins is better at rack tackle versus Terrence Steele. Who remember that, right? And that when we all came to the conclusion that if you trust what you see with your eyes versus what someone else say, and you look at the tape 9 times out of 10, you'll be right. You'll be right on the money with it. So trust your eyes, trust what you see and evaluate, and don't lean upon everybody's word with every syllable in every letter, right? So that's how I look at it. But, shout out to y'all. He said, crack them if you got them, baby. Yes, indeed. So it's one of those things. But here's the thing. There's no right or wrong thing because in preseason, what I want you guys to get accustomed to, especially in these games, is I want you guys to get accustomed to, unfortunately, is to look at the individual players in preseason. There's no necessary time to look at units because this is preseason. There's no necessary time to check out who won the game or who lost the game because that don't even matter, right? But what you want to look at is for week 1, who did X, Y, and Z things and how they can marry that and put it on week 2, right? And then from week 2, then after week 2 of the preseason game, it's cut day. It's The Super Bowl, I call week 3 of the preseason, since they only got 3 games now. If you don't play the Hall of Fame game, you got 4. But if you don't play the Hall of Fame game, you got 3 games, right? Here's how I look at the final preseason game when we get there. It's the practice squad Super Bowl. It's the practice squad Super Bowl. So you're going to have to figure out, did you make enough moves? And I think it's about, can y'all put it down in the chat? Is it 16 practice squad guys or 17? And don't take a dump upon the practice squad players. They make what doctors and lawyers make in the city of Dallas. They make good money. So don't take a crap upon them. Guyton has to play. Yes. Trust your own eyes. This is what I'm great. And this is not to beat up anybody, right? Shoot. Yeah, it's not to beat up anybody. And this is not to say, hey, I'm right and somebody else wrong. But what you want to do is say, hey, okay, I take that what this person said, and then I'm looking at it from what I'm seeing, right? And I'm looking at what the system is all about. And then I'm trying to quantify all of those things, right? I need those glasses. Yeah. I wear the shades because I'm inside my studio, and I'm seeing these monitors and everything, and it's good to have these on, unless I'll be like Ray Charles in the future. Yeah, it's 16 practice squad guys. Shout out to you, David. Appreciate you. Let's see what my guy's saying over here. Let's see.
Receiver produces in practice, but doesn't necessarily produce in the game. So the pressure is on for guys like Tyron Billy Johnson, Jalen Cropper, and Jalen Brooks to try and make their spot on the roster known going into the regular season. With more on that, Dak Prescott spoke very highly of what he's seen from Tyron Billy Johnson so far.
Talk about a guy that has energy, natural excitement, joy, and it jumps out and it's contagious. It can start with a guy like that, and obviously when you're making the plays that he's making, that allows him just even to be more himself. And I think all of that goes into why he's having the camp that he's having, making the plays that he's having, and ready to see it obviously turning in some of these preseason games and him just put his best ball out there. But I think it's a testament, as I said, he had a season with us last year on practice squad. I know we let him go in the back end of the year for numbers and the business of the game, and that's a guy that understands it. And then when we brought him back in the offseason, I just remember the joy that he came in with, and from the first day, catching passes and walk through and doing everything the right way, and all that's just continued to grow into training camp, and that's why he's making these plays. So a guy that really just carries his joy and love for the game, and it's evident in everything that he does, and as I said, it's contagious. So hell of a teammate.
Tyron Billy Johnson hoping that can stay contagious and spread over into the preseason as well. He has played NFL snaps before. He has over 200 yards receiving, 3 career touchdowns, but he's done so over the course of 9 different teams. He's been with 9 different organizations over the last 4 years. Based on what you've seen from Tyron Billy Johnson, Nick, on the practice field, does he have a legitimate shot to make the roster?
He does, but he's got to show the reasons why he's been signed 9 times and not why he's been cut 8 times.
Great point.
I mean, that's the thing. There's a reason why he keeps going back to teams, and it's usually because of the speed. The thing for him, I don't think he's had a really nice camp, but not to the point like Jalen Brooks did last year, where it doesn't really matter what happens in the games because he's probably safe. He needs to make some plays out here as well. Brooks, if you remember, all Oxnard didn't have the best games, but he was so good that you're like, you got to take a chance on him. These guys still have to shine in the game.
What do you think about the young receivers and what you've seen so far?
Well, I think that they need to be more consistent. I think that they've flashed, right? They have a good day, and then it's like, where'd they go? And then another guy steps up. But one of the guys I wanted to point out that has really stepped up, he's not a young guy, but without CeeDee Lamb here, Brandon Cooks has stepped up to be a #1 receiver. I asked Dak, it's like, you seem to have a better connection with him now than you did last year. He goes, well, it was new last year. And the first 7 games, he had 17 catches. The last 9 games, he had 37 catches. And Dak said, CD, we're going to him. And when they started taking him away, Brandon Cooks stepped picked up. And as he said in this training camp, he said, Brandon Cooks is my best teammate ever and the best man. So we won't see him tonight, but just know that he's playing really well in CeeDee's absence.
That's an incredible note because it also shows just how much it matters.
No doubt, man. The absolute preseason games matter for a fact that you want guys to get better. And just to clarify, one, I think because I always like this show to be the most interactive show on the planet, right? Gregory Lee says, I'm a diehard fan, and these YouTubers will have you thinking we gotten better. They get paid off for this. Don't believe them. How we get better. All right, so first and foremost, Law Nation makes six figures before YouTube is here or not. We put that to the corner, not to just talk about my remunerations, right? Second of all, I got Twin Maker, who's my blood brother, that would tell you that Law Nation always says, hey, we going to the Super Bowl. And that's before I had the beard. Third of all, when you think about it, why would I fly all the way out here to Oxnard, right, to spend my own money, spend my own time and resources to see things with my natural eyes and to say to myself and to you guys, just to tell you guys hopes and dreams and not give you guys objective analysis. Now, granted, from a resume aspect, I would put my resume upon anybody that does this type or kind of caliber of content. And I know for sure from my accolades, from my knowledge and wisdom, that it will blow a third of anybody that does this out of the water. For first and foremost, if I were to do that and stand on that part of the business, right? However, when you think of it and you listen to what I'm saying, of course these guys gotten better. There's no way that you can look at Jalen Tolbert and say, hey, Jalen Tolbert looks worse than what he did last season, right? Hey, Jalen Brooks is not looking as good as he looked last season, right? There's tangible evidence that these boys are better than what they were last season. That's not up for debate. This team, as it relates to the players and the coaching staff that's out here on the field, you can clearly see, without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, that these guys see that this system is a whole lot better. Law, do you have any truth to that? Well, when we talk about new media, we got my girl Craven Cowboys, who had a great interview, just a small excerpt that I want to play, because Law Nation have the ability to get people out here to ask the good questions, right? To give you guys the good information. And that's all for my sweat equity. I didn't have to do this. But if you keep listening to me, you will learn this, right? So here we go right here.
What are you most excited about the Cowboys bringing in Zimmer and what he can teach his defensive line?
Well, he's more of a discipline. He's going to ask guys to do their job and to play their responsibilities and hopefully help with the run game. He's a hard-nosed coach, but he can relate to the players. He understands this new breed of players, so I think things will be okay, and I think he'll get guys going in the right direction.
All right. Make sure
So that's not Big Nate capping. And if you guys got a chance to talk to Nate Newton, like we were given a chance to talk to Nate Newton, and me sharing my resources so that Craven Cowboys can act upon these things, and I'm not gatekeeping over here, you know what I mean? And I'm probably be the only one that's not gatekeeping. There's a lot of gatekeepers. There's a lot of people who will say they will want you to shine, but they will never give you the opportunity to put you in front of things so that you can shine. But Law Nation, for sure, going to give you a chance and opportunity across the board. So when you listen to Nate, he's over there saying, hey, I know what this dude can bring to the table, and it will benefit the players, right? So that's just what it is. And shout out to Craven. She did a great job. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So it's just what it is. But what I don't want people to think at this point that this is a money grab, because this is all passion and you guys can tell. And I will line them up one by one if anybody think otherwise. And they will ultimately hold that L because you're listening to nothing but the best. Mike dropped these. Yeah. So that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, you can just look me up, Google me, and you will see what you see, right? And that's on all types of platforms here. We're not just on YouTube, by the way. Now, shout out to King Rel. He said, salute, Law Nation. Nobody. Oh, my goodness, man. Come on, man.
What more do you want from me?
No doubt. What we got from here? What we tell them?
Nobody does it better.
And what else they can do?
They can come closer than close, yeah. Original, they never will be.
I like the word where it says never. That joker said never will be. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, they would never will be. Yeah, I like that part right there. That's part right there is the real part. Let's listen to my guy Pat No-C Walker on this one.
Rinse and repeat basically is what this is. So Andrew Booth, former second-round pick, two-time All-ACC talent, he's going to come in and try to make a name for himself on special teams. But what it also tells me defensively is that Kalen Carson is making fantastic progress quickly in his first training camp on that boundary. So you look at Andrew Booth, he can provide some depth in the rotation behind Jordan Lewis, compete there. But Kalen Carson looks like he's going to be your guy outside behind Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs.
Let's talk about Kalen Carson a little bit. The rookie out of Wake Forest has had a phenomenal camp. He's going to play on the boundary for the most part, but he's looked like a starting caliber corner. Nobody needs to compare him to the other young guys in the room like Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs, but up to this point, Mickey, he's checked all the boxes.
Yeah, and it's seatbelt Carson to you, okay? Dak Prescott was asked about him, and they used his full name, and he goes, who? And then they said it again. He goes, oh, seatbelt Carson. He can lock receivers down and really shows up making a play. It seems like every day. If it's not an interception, he's not going to pass down. So without Trevon Diggs out here, without Bland, without Jordan Lewis, you're going to see a lot of seatbelt Carson, and he'll get an opportunity to play out here. And that's what happens when you have somebody missing. Everybody moves up a step. Well, when you have all three of your starters missing, Trevon Diggs is fine. He's been in 7-on-7. They feel like he should be able to get in team practice like 11-on-11 real soon.
What do you think out of Carson and some of these other young corner prospects that are starting to fill in the depth? Because going into training camp, that was one of the question marks behind Diggs, Deron, and Jordan Lewis. It didn't necessarily look like on paper you had much. Do you feel better about that spot?
I do feel better at the moment, and obviously this is an offseason wherein the Cowboys and Stephon Gilmore have not agreed to terms. So coming into training camp, it was going to be the question mark of who backs up Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland on the boundary, and can former sixth-round pick Eric Scott make that jump in his second training camp behind Jordan Lewis? So when you're talking about the nickel position behind Jordan Lewis, you're talking about a competition between Eric Scott, Josh Butler, Keemon Hall. All three of those young men have been making strides in camp. Keemon Hall and Josh Butler, they have interceptions out in Oxnard. When you go to the boundary, it looks like it's Kalen Carson's job to lose, and mark my words, he's not losing it.
And he brought up the fact that Stephon Gilmore.
No doubt, Carson's is a guy that we really going to be taking a look at. Rev says football is back. Feels good to be back with the nation. Chat/reacting to the live games with you. Appreciate you, Rev, man. Appreciate you for your support as well for all that you do. Hey, here's the 1,000 truths over here. Cowboy Nation, there's 31 other teams out there. At the end of the day, out of the 31 other teams out there beyond the Cowboys, the team that got all of the no excuses, the bragging rights, that can go beyond the Chiefs. That's the only team that can talk noise, right? But at the end of the day, the Cowboys, we just got to earn and get our own self in the right direction. And it starts with this season. We got to make sure that what happened last year happened last year. People going to say the Cowboys choked The people going to say the Cowboys squandered the opportunities. Well, you can say that for 31 other teams outside of the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's not up for debate, by the way. That's just what it is. So don't fall into the traps of saying that we don't have an opportunity. What you supposed to say? The word it's crazy to teach people to say this is how you fan, right? Because fan is short for fanatic. And you don't go into the race and say, hey, I'm going to lose. You don't go into battle saying, hey, I only got a sword and everybody else got guns. It's no chance for me, right? You going in there with this mindset when you are a fan, because at the end of the day, it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. It's hard to win, if do too, by the way. But
Spartans, prepare for glory.
You got to prepare yourself for it. You got to get ready for it. And what happened last year had nothing to do with Marshawn Nealon. What happened last year has nothing to do with Tyler Guyton. What happened last year have nothing to do with Cooper Beebe. Nothing to do with Carson's, nothing to do with some of these guys that we got as the undrafted guys like the Denzel Jacksons of the world. So, and to a degree, last year have nothing to do with the Booth kid that we have now, right? So these guys, and Mears Learfowl, all of those guys, Nate Thomas, the list goes on. So you can't be angry and upset for what happened last year when you got a new guys that's on this team that you supposed to be out there supporting. Right? They didn't have nothing to do with that Green Bay game. Nothing to do with it. So at the end of the day, you support and you root for your guys. I'm old enough to remember Rihanna when she first started off singing. She was on the stage and she had the cracky voice. She didn't sound as good as she is now, but somebody believed in her. They continue to support her. And she's a billionaire, or she's worth $1 billion now, man, or more. Why? Because someone believed, somebody continued to push them. So when you fall, you could have been easily saying, hey, she sound like trash, man. Hey, why hassle nappy? You know, oh, man, her voice cracking. She would never. But at the end of the day, somebody continued to push. Somebody continued to excel that person. And now look at them. Not saying that she's the best singer of all times, but
let me crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
That's how you supposed to fan. Either you a fan or you a hater. That's just what it is. And there's a difference between somebody proclaiming to be a die hard versus a die soft. Because when you supposed to die hard, the key of it is not the hard part, it's the die. So that means you going to the grave supporting the thing that you say you are. But if you're not a die-hard fan, that means that you just a soft fan. If you crying and you moaning about last year and you ain't going out here supporting this team, then you got to take that name away from you. You know, that means that you are a soft fan. And there's nothing wrong. Put it like this. There's nothing wrong with being soft. That's just who you are, right? But if you're a die-hard fan, you out there dying hard. That's the name of it, dying. You know, you going down just like Terminator. He's going into the oozes of the lava, whatever it was, and the fire, and he still had his thumbs up. You know, he said, what did Terminator say, y'all? What did he say? What did he say? I'll be what? What did he say? He didn't say, God damn, man, we losing, man. Hey, man, Riggs, where my Riggs button at? You know. What did Terminator say? What did he say? Y'all put it in the chat. He didn't cry. He didn't moan about it. You know? Riggs! He said, I'll be back. That's what I'm looking for. But a soft fan would be like, it's hot. Oh, man. Oh, we choked, man. Hey. It's hot. We losing. Skynet the one. Skynet, oh my God. Get in the chopper. You know, that's how y'all sound. Whoever complaining today before we even played and talking about we gonna lose and we ain't gonna be able to beat Skynet, you know, that y'all are the soft fans. Y'all are the fickle fans. Y'all are the weak fans. Y'all are the feeble fans. But we going down with the ship, baby. You might as well call us the people that was on the Titanic playing the song. Yeah. So I get mad when people say they're diehard fans and I see that they soft. You know what I'm saying? I get mad like, dog, you ain't hard at all. You soft, you cry. You supposed to be like the Terminator. You know, you supposed to be going, even though we going down, he got the thumbs up. Yeah, pretty much. Ain't that right, Paul? They're hitting them with too much truth that they're going to have to leave this doggone place because they know they can't out-talk me on that. You know, that's just what it is. She said, yeah, overshown jersey. Yeah. Quick to bail out fans. Yeah. You don't want to be around them as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want somebody to be there in the mix, man.
Get your up there, contain the damn ball. This is why we do it. Hey, too many missed tackles. Let's go. We're too damn soft. I just hate mistakes. I hate mistakes.
That's what it is, man. Shoot, I want somebody to ride with me. Shoot, it could be 40 people in the bar, and it's just me and Sean. Me and Sean, we walk in the bar with our Cowboys stuff on. It could be 40 Packers fans. We ain't finna fold up like a wallet. But some of the people say, I'm gonna take mine. They're like, why you folding yours up? Man, I can't let them know, man. I'm a Cowboy. They hiding the star right here. Them type of people, they see Stephen A. Smith, they go run. You know what I'm saying? They rolling up stuff like this and say, oh, yeah, I'm real. Why you ain't wearing your stuff?
I was born with something inside me that refused to settle for average, and am grateful for it. I am a warrior, a destroyer.
Come on with it.
A force of pure violence, and all that I desire is the sheer glory of
Come on with it.
Mercy is for the weak, surrender for those who have no conviction. I am coming for this world, and all it has.
Come on with it.
Nothing will stop me. I care for nothing more than to see my name carved in history, and for the world to bow before my greatness.
Come on with it.
I am coming for it all.
Come on. Come on with it. Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Yeah. Yes, indeed, baby. That's what I'm talking about, man.
They're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't.
But
let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
We got an owner, man, that refused to sign folks, man. We got a team that refused to do anything week one of the free agency. But us real fans, man, we ain't finna take this silver and blue off. Sure, I was rocking this silver and blue before Jerry Jones bought the team. You know, I came up out of this thing rooting for Everson Walls and them. I cried like a baby when he won the Super Bowl with the Giants. Yeah. Look, I was rooting for this team before Jones has bought the team. Now, shout out to him because he did manage to give us 3 rings with his knowledge and stuff. But come on with it.
Yeah, that running back room is steep, but there's 2 guys in particular that have been so dominant all training camp, Ezekiel Elliott and Rico Dowdle. But the other 6, if they want to make a first impression, today is the day.
Back to throw, looking right, deep to the end zone. Leaping catch for Jake Ferguson. Touchdown, Cowboys to start the game.
The Cowboys' passing attack turned heads in 2023. It was lethal and surgical with Dak Prescott slicing up defenses with precision. But in order for the offense to reach its full potential, the ground game has to hit another gear.
I think just picture-wise, over the course of the year, we were below the line. I think we need to be better.
So the search for who can take the 14th ranked rushing offense to new heights is underway.
All right, so let's talk about this rushing thing because she said 14th ranked rushing. I look at it like this. Did we move the needle? We're going out there grabbing a person that can help us out in the run game category? I don't think so, But we look at it from this aspect. If you block it up front, if if there's 2 yards that we need and we can get 3 or 4, I would count that as a plus. Remember how I look at everything. I give everyone 100. So I'm giving this game 100. We're going to look at tape, and if it's a situation where we need 2 yards and we can't get 2.5, we can't get 3, we can't get 4, then we back at the circle and we back at the starting blocks, and we're going to have to break this down. We're going to bang on the table like no other and say, hey, y'all going to have to fix this. Now, some will believe that it's already fixed, but I'm going to tell y'all, we have reservations.
Due to the coaches and hopefully getting more opportunity.
The room consists of many other backs who are looking to contribute to making this offense dynamic.
Whatever they ask of me. I mean, that's kind of how it's been for me as a recent in my career. I mean,
that's Royce Freeman.
I think that's why I'm an asset to a team and to an offense, special teams as well. So whatever they ask of me, honestly.
8 names, 4 weeks until week 1. One mission: deliver a more balanced offense that can help top the scales further in the Cowboys' favor in 2024.
I think everybody wants to be a playmaker. Obviously, everybody wants the ball, but ultimately it's, figuring out where you fit in and how you fit in. So it's a multitude of things that goes into that. And, at the end of the day.
No doubt. That's Royce Freeman talking. But before we get too far down this episode, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like, share this content. And I will be trying to add this into the mix because it's still early enough for you guys to take upon this one with my people, Prize Picks. Prize Picks also have this as a selection, more or less, with Deuce Vaughn. And granted, like I've been telling people, it's preseason, so we may be more in tune than some of these apps out here. I'm just saying, but more or less, Deuce Vaughn, I got Deuce going less. I don't even think that he's going to get things going so far. But there's a whole nother conversation. Corey Crooms, he's not even on the team. So I look at it like, hey, I'm going to go with the less. There's no way in the world he's going to run 15 yards. Yeah, so that means, look, that's why we've been more in-depth with everything. Jalen Cropper, that's the thing, whereas they got him down as a 15.5. I think that Cropper can get 15 yards. I think he can give us 16 yards, so I'm going with the more. Zach Evans, I'm going with less. I don't think that they're going to give him a tons of snaps. In his last few preseason games that he had right at 20 yards. So if he get 24.5 or if he get 25 yards, then, hey, we got the flex options on here. Hopefully that will be a situation that we can counter and look back at it. They got Trey Lance down for going for more than 121 yards. I think that Trey Lance going to have a bulk of this. I think that, you got to play the system there, fam. Yeah. So, hey, shout out to Prize Picks, man. Hey, you can be in the mix, too. All you got to do is download Prize Picks and use promo code LAW, and they will match up to $100 on your first deposit. And speaking of that, they even got Stephen A. Smith selections right here, so they say every time you pick Stephen A. Smith selection, his hairline goes forward, right? So if you don't pick it, it goes backwards. So hey, you try to pick out the ways that you want to help out Stephen A. Smith. Shout out to him. He's partnering with Prize Picks as well, and they got the Heisman hopefuls with the promotions there. You all you had to do is hit the play in button, and as well as you can become an ambassador with Prize Picks once you download and start sharing. Sharing is caring. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, so what I want to do here as well is I want to open up the phone lines for your mind because we are getting close to that time, and I want to hear from you all, your expectations of week 1 of the preseason, and let me know how you guys feel of what the thing should be. Now, as far as score predictions and things like that, I really don't do that in preseason because I'm not looking for these guys to score. We're looking for execution, of course, throughout the plays. And, of course, if they score, they score. But it is what it is because what you try to do is get installments going, right? So I really don't look for those type of things. And normally the Cowboys don't score high in preseason games, right? But Holly says 22-18. We can do that still. We can still do that. But I don't do score predictions, I'm looking at individual stuff. I'm looking at good series and reps and things like that. But if you want to know the number to The hotline for your mind is 657-390-7391. That's the hotline for your mind right before we have kickoff here in a few. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and being part of these things, right? Granted, I'm going to say this again because I don't think I brought this up earlier. Let's go to the starters here, the people that's going to – no, not the starters, the captains of the team. Today's captains of the team, because they alternate the captains here, they got Trey Lance as the offensive captain. They got Damone Clark as the defensive captain. And then they got my guy number 57, Buddy Johnson, as the special teams captain, who is a Texas native, who is a Dallas native, who got a lot of things going on. And I'm really, really rooting for Buddy to make this team. So look out for 57, and we will see what he got in store for us. All right, so the first person that called in today from the 815, you're live, and it is my dog, my brother from another mother, Brandon, not Rick, but Ross. What's good with you, bro? Talk to me.
But
Brandon! Hello? Riggs! Jeez.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, boy. I thought somebody got you, man. Shoot. Somebody grabbed and hold you and grab you, man. What's going on? Man, where you at, though, man? Where you at? You can't be at the crib, bro. You got to be out and about.
Man, Law, I want to say,
Oh, you better now. You sound better now. Stay right there. Now go. Dang, Brandon. Hang up and call right back, Brandon. Brandon sound like he's under the bridge or somewhere, man. The football guy said, ain't got time for that. But I got from the 310 you win on the nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. I hope you got a better connection. Talk to us, man.
Man, Law.
Yeah, you got a good connection.
First of all, man, I want to say, man, I've been watching you for a long time, bro. It's been like 4 years at this point, man. I've been watching you for a long time, man. I've really been watching it since you always doing the what's the round table with everybody?
Yeah. My guys, man. The round table. Yeah. Vach and Sky. Yeah. Okoye.
Yep. And so, what I wanted to say for real is, I wanted to say, look out for Deontay Burnett. He's a receiver.
Number 6.
He was in XFL.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay, he's number 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for big things. He's going to have a connection with Trey Lance. So that's all I wanted to say is just look out for Deontay Burnett. Remember the name. He may make our practice squad, but he's a dog.
What's his 40 time? Because at first I thought him and Kevontae Turpin, they kind of similar in size a little bit. You know, but what's his 40 time?
I wouldn't say he's like the speed burner that Turpin is, but he got the hands for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure hands catching for sure.
Yeah, number 6.
Yeah, but he would be maybe like a high 4.4, maybe 4.5 type floaty.
Yeah, he got short area quickness. I seen him and number 84. His name slipped me, but both of those guys been getting some good work in. And what brought that up to my attention was his ability to find the small spaces and catch and get upfield. So, yeah, I know exactly what he said 6 because they popped him one time. He got up with the ball. So you might be on the money. Yeah. They popped that brother.
He got out there in high school, a lot of Gardena. Sure.
Gardena, okay.
Yep. And one more thing.
Go ahead.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them, man? Come on with it, man. That's how. From now on, that's how y'all call in. Yeah. Come on with it, man. Yeah, Brandon, call back, man. So you gotta come up against that, man. Come on with it. Yeah. From now on, that's how you gotta call in. Yeah. Akeem says, I'm watching Mazi. I feel you, man. From the 6 to 3. You're live on the nation. Brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
What up, Law?
Not much. It's Gracia, right? Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Remember that voice. Talk to me, man.
On offense, I'm looking forward to seeing how Cooper Beebe has progressed with the snaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm also looking at because I know with him and Hoffman, it's been a pretty close competition.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And if Guyton, I know he's an uncertainty, so I'm not gonna really look in to see what he's gonna do. But I'm looking at Jalen Cropper.
Correct.
Deuce Vaughn.
Okay.
And also, I'm just trying to look at the other names. And our defense, Willie Harvey, because I know he's been making a lot of noise on this
55.
And also Maris Lewis.
Yeah.
But I want to see what our DT room looks like in this game and seeing if we're, for one, doing gap integrity. We're playing the blocks. We're not trying to get upfield. We're trying to fill the holes so our linebackers can make the tackles and make the play. Because I know against the Rams, while we got torched because it's installments, I feel like we did a better job at stopping the run and establishing continuity in that aspect. So I want to see how our wide receivers on offense look, because we had some guys last year in names of Dennis Houston, T.J. Vasher. They were big names in camp.
Yeah.
But when the lights came on, they were nowhere to be found.
Most certainly. Shoot, especially Vasher, TJ, I thought for sure he had some promising. Then he had put on weight and everything, and it just didn't materialize. And I think he got snapped up at the end there. So, yeah, and he ended up – I think he's probably coaching now somewhere. So, yeah, you're right. Those are good guys to look out for.
Nealon's. And I hope Nealon's not, playing 3-tech. I hope he's on the edge, because I know they said they were, trying him there, and they're increasing his reps. So I hope with the DTs we bring in, they've gotten enough quality reps, and they're not, putting them at the 3-tech.
Yeah,
so
Nealon don't have to be nobody interior guy. He's too. He's. I don't want him to turn into a Tyron Crawford. I think that he got skills to play on the outside, keep him on the outside. I think he does a great deed of contain. I even seen him flip hips and drop back in coverage and cover the flats, for crying out loud. So I think that's a good number to look out for, number 94 today. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on 55 and our linebacker core. I know Eric Hendricks, he's not going to be a go. I know Overshown's going to be on a pitch count, so he's going to be involved in some of the aspects. I just want to see us flying to the ball, keeping everything in front of us. And if we get torched on the secondary, we're fine, because we're not trying to be a turnover. We're not trying to be like that turnover. We're not trying to be all doom and gloom, just getting turnovers, because we can't always quantify those later in the season. So we want to just be consistent in stopping the run and making them pass on third down.
10-4, man. You right on the money with it, bro. Appreciate you for calling in. That's Garcia, y'all. Good call from Garcia, man. I just want to say this, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at everything and you think of this team on what we're looking for, I know we're going to have our ball hawkers. I know that for sure. If they get beat on a double move, I get it, right? Shame on the safety over the top. Let's see if he can roll that way. But what I'm more so concerned of is what he said. I'm going to just dip into what he said. If we stop inside zone runs and if we can stop runners getting to the edge, those are the two things. C-gap runs and B-gap runs. If we can stop those things, then I'm good. If we can stop them from doing those type of plays where we had issues with, then that would be a plus for us. If I can see linebackers involved in this game, then I'm happy. I'm happy-go-lucky if we see 55, 59, and as well as 35 or even 13 with, like you said, it's going to be in a ramp-up situation. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Ain't this right? From the 781, you're live, Jimmy the Greek. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
My brother, Jimmy the Greek, here in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, what's good with you?
What are you doing, my man? Listen, I'm very excited about our first preseason game tonight, this afternoon, I should say. I'm really looking, actually, at the defense to see how it performs today. I don't know what it is with this team. I'm captivated by the defense, because I know the offense is going to be good, or at least above average, but this defense intrigues me. I think it's got potential to be great. So I'm really looking at that tonight. I'm looking at some key players to see how they perform. But I'm just excited that football's back. You know?
It is, yeah. It's back, man, and preseason is the hardest thing to identify because what you're looking for ultimately would be, all right, how can I get my individual guys and not my team guys together? And that's what I'm looking for because you know for sure somebody may have a blown assignment, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the guy who's going to actually make the play, not the guy who's going to wet the bed, you know. So that's how I'm looking at it, you know. And I know it sounds crazy, but you know what I mean on defense? Like who made the play? Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Law, I got one quick question. Is Deuce Vaughn playing today?
Let me look at my actives list. Because normally ESPN or my guy John Machota tweet that out. Somebody may have the information that's in the chat right now. But let me look and see if they got.
No, he was a little hurt, so I don't know if he.
No, I don't know. They don't have it. I know that Peyton Hendershot questionable. Royce Freeman, he's not playing, of course, and CeeDee Lamb and Dak is not. So that's all I have right here as far as ESPN update ticker. But somebody's going to give it to me in the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, no matter who plays today, it's going to be great to see some football and.
No injuries on both sides. Yeah, that's what we want. No injuries. We keep going. Yeah.
I love you, man. You keep doing your thing. I'm going to try to get that tour going out to Dallas. First time ever to see the stadium this winter, this fall. So that's my mission to get out there and check out, because I've never been out there. Lifelong Cowboys fan, never been to the stadium. So that's my goal.
Yeah, and when you get out here, bro, there's another tour, that's right down the street, it's in Arlington. Yeah, it's a museum, the Cowboys Museum. This guy turned his whole house into a Cowboys museum. You got to see that one, too, when you're here. So 3 locations, three tours for you. The Star in Frisco. Yeah, work your way around, man, and you will enjoy it, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And one more thing, keep that steak medium, baby. All right.
All right, I'm gonna try it medium, boy. I'm gonna put it back in.
I'm just playing with you. Love you, buddy. Have a
Much
great
love
day.
to you. That's Jimmy, man, the Greek. Yeah, I try to eat a medium steak, man. And, shoot, had my stomach folded up like a wallet, All right, I got the 202. What's new from the 202? What's new?
Hello.
Yeah, you're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix? Talk to me.
Okay. So listen, this is a unpopular opinion, right? I want to touch on the Jerry Jones and CeeDee Lamb, right?
Okay, good. Go ahead. Yeah.
I feel like, and look, this is how you say it, unpopular opinion, right?
Right.
I feel like, some people be tripping about like the CeeDee Lamb stuff because I feel like these past years we haven't did nothing, right? And CeeDee Lamb is a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's like sometimes it gets me mad because it's like, these players be wanting this much money, but it's like when it's the postseason, where these players at? Like some people, they blame that of us losing, right?
Right.
But where was CeeDee Lamb? Where was all these good players at, right? They were nowhere to be found. And everybody just look at Dak, but it's just not all on Dak. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got all these players that's on this team, all these good players that's on this team. Nobody's there to show up. We need people that's going to show up when nobody is doing right. Like, if the quarterback not doing good, we need that one person that's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to turn this around.
Mm-hmm. So where you getting at from the 202? What you getting at on the CD thing? Talk to me, man.
Because it's just like, it just get me frustrated because it's like, man, CeeDee Lamb is a good player, but it's like, y'all got to look at this stuff. Like, he's good, but it's just like, where is he at? When it's time to. When it's time. Yeah.
Well. This is what I look at it, man. I think the Cowboys do a wonderful job on building and getting talent. I just sometimes, but they don't see the forest because of the tree. Meaning that when we get too knee jerky and we get too much in our feelings, because we blow up our team every single year we blow it up instead of maintaining and developing. Like in 2021, we get angry, we get upset, and we let Amari Cooper go. And we put all of the spotlight on CD, right? With the expectations that he is better than Amari Cooper and he's going to be this guy that can do it all because he's CeeDee Lamb and he was a first-round draft pick. Whereas other teams, they look at it and say, you know what? We're going to add 2 more experiences with CeeDee Lamb plus Amari Cooper so we won't be scrambling, right? So when we went to the playoff game in 2022, it was CeeDee Lamb and a guy that was 33 in the third years of age by the name of T.Y. Hilton and Noah Brown, right? And we still had the same expectations. Granted, we lost by 1 possession, right? But I'm telling you that if you were to look back at it and if you had probably an Amari Cooper, maybe you could have had a better start. Maybe you could have moved things around. And I know it sounds like bevies of excuses, but we tend to, as Cowboys Nation owners, break down the team every time. Like now, CeeDee Lamb is fighting for his contract, which it should be already. Like when the Eagles, they already knew that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback for them. But they know for sure that Jalen Hurts by himself can't take that team all the way back to the Super Bowl. So what they did, they added and kept weapons with him. They didn't take away A.J. They didn't say, Smitty, you're not worth this or that. They went on ahead and paid him early, both of those boys, and they had no problems of giving even Jalen Hurts $250 million. So it's one of those things, bro. And they paid their tight end too. He's getting paid 15, something like that, APY.
Yeah.
So I just think the Cowboys have an issue with just maintaining and adding. For example, the 49ers. They lost in the playoffs too. They haven't won the Super Bowl. They lost in the playoff in 2021. In 2022, what they did was they said, hey, we are a playoff kind of caliber team. We got a running back, Elijah, that gave us 1,000 yards. But we know that we can get better in that department. So let's go get a CMC. And he is one of those guys that was a force multiplier for them, And they got Debo. So when Debo is doing bad, that Kittle stands up. When Kittle's doing bad, Brandon Ayuk. When Brandon Ayuk is doing bad, the quarterback makes a play because of Trent Williams. So that's a T. But the Cowboys, what we do is we tend to put everything on 4. It's 4 or no way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's just, and like, what you call it? Some people, like, what's his name, Jerry Jones, right? Some people might not agree with Jerry Jones and like all the stuff that they do, and some people might want him gone. But it's like, you can have your opinion about Jerry Jones. He's not going nowhere. He might go off the bed, but I feel like he got at least like 6 more years left. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that, but you know what I mean, though. Like, he not going nowhere. So like whatever he do, like if he was to trade CeeDee Lamb right now, it's nothing possible that we can do. We just gotta. All we do is just watch football. You get what I'm saying? Like it's nothing that like people be taking this stuff too serious. Like people want Jerry Jones to die and all this stuff like that. It's just crazy because it's like, bro, it's crazy.
Well, all as fans, we have no control of the outcome of the team, right? Unless you become this big, massive 12th man like the Seattle did that year when they was winning Super Bowls. But I just look at it like this: we are equivalent to the bugs that hit the windshield. And if enough bugs hit the windshield, they're gonna have to stop and pull over. So that's what we're trying to do as fans. We're the bugs that hitting the windshield, pay CD, and then when they fool around and pay him, he gonna stop and pull over, wipe the windshield off, and go ahead and keep it moving. So here's my play with CeeDee Lamb. Of course, all of us was fans of this team before CeeDee Lamb was probably even born or even decided to play for the Cowboys or was drafted to that degree. What I want ultimately is for us not to be talking about CD right now because that's on the players' minds, it's on the staff minds, it's on everybody's mind. Will CD be in the uniform? We all know that he's eventually will be, but it's a level of distraction. So what we want ultimately for the Cowboys to do is start to move a little better. If they want to trade CeeDee Lamb and get multiple draft picks, do it, but don't make a doggone clown show out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to pay him, pay him. If you're going to pay him anyway, pay that man early. You could have paid CeeDee Lamb before the start of the season last year, and you would have got him at 22, 24, 25 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
I actually got one more question, and I'm gone. Who's your favorite player? That's who you got your eye on? One player. Who you got your eye on? Mine is Carson. What about you?
One player that I got my eye on, if I'm just really looking at – I'm looking at Trey Lance for right now. I'm seeing what he's going to look like. Not saying that I ultimately want him to take the starting role, but I'm looking at him. I want to see if he can give us something because that was a valuable pick. I'm looking at Breland Allen from yesterday, and I'm sitting here saying that's our 4th-round draft pick right there if we didn't use that for Trey Lance. So he's going to have to show us something in his preseason game. He got to show us something. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, though. Yeah, Lord. Thank you for letting me up.
No doubt, man.
I'm gonna always say this every single time when I come up. I might be the youngest person that watch you. I don't.
Wow.
But thank you for letting me up, though, Lord.
No doubt, man. You have a good one, man. From the 202, man. He's right there in Washington, D.C. So I hope that you guys get with what I'm saying with all of this. There's a right way and there's a wrong way, and a lot of people, they don't understand the way that the Kansas City Chiefs, they looking at, see, a lot of people look at somebody with 6 packs and they looking at somebody with all of the muscles and stuff, and they say, I want that. But you got to have discipline to get that. And it's not about just working out, it's dieting, right? So you can work out all day. If you ain't eating right, you're not going to get that. And genetics plays a role. So when we look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they say, hey, man, they didn't have any weapons. Well, excuse me. They wasn't doing no installs. That system, how long that system been there? How long Andy Reid been there? And Andy Reid crossed the burning sands when he was with the Eagles. He had always the Eagles in some type of playoff hopes, right? When he was there, we cheered when he got done with the Eagles. We were like, yeah. My only problem is I wanted them to keep Chip Kelly for at least 10 years. It didn't happen that. But what people tend to do, they would look at the 49ers, but the Chiefs, and they say, look at Pat Mahomes. Look at them. They got no weapons, and they still won the Super Bowl. And they fail to realize that this dude, Travis Kelce, he probably don't have to wait for 5 years before they give him his gold jacket. That he's been in that system forever. Pat Mahomes, his entirety of his career, he's been under Andy Reid's watch. And what nobody brings up is that spectacular defense. Yeah, Pat Mahomes goes to the Super Bowl, throw a pick, and give up 0 points because the defense is fire mad. That defense, the Kansas City Chiefs defense, the 49ers was at the 9-yard line. They were 9 yards away from winning the Super Bowl. And the defense stood tall. Yes, Pat Mahomes had to drive him down the field, but if you wouldn't have that opportunity if your defense didn't stop the Niners at the 9-yard line. Just as much as people give praises to Pat Mahomes, I need to hear the echoes of Chris Jones as well. Can somebody let me know how many rings Chris Jones got? And can somebody let me know when they made it to the postseason, was Spagnuolo out there interviewing for other jobs? Huh? Was he looking behind his back? Said, I don't know, man. Maybe Andy Reid gonna can me, man. Was he out there looking? What was their focal point? But everybody gives it only to Pat Mahomes. The first Super Bowl they won, how many yards did the running back have? People don't even remember the running back. That man was running all over the 49ers the first time, I believe. But people going to always remember the quarterback. We didn't have those type of things here. Y'all acting like, man, we go into these playoff games, all running back getting 200-300 yards on the ground and stuff like that. No. Yeah, okay, Jay Lombardi, Damian Williams. He's not even in the league no more, I believe. That boy running all over the Niners. Catching screen, going 40, 50 yards. And granted, Pat Mahomes, he's a dog. He's really good. But I got from the 661, not Boss Cowboy with a B, but I got Boss or Voss, however you call it, with the V. With the V, like the water, man.
Yeah, bro.
I cracked open one of those waters in the hotel. They said it was $18.99. I said, God no. I tried to put it back in the seal and everything. I said, no, $18.99.
Hey, when you look it up, it's the second most purest water on the planet.
It's the purest water on the planet, okay. Artesian water, artisan water.
Some other Norwegian water is supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, okay.
But
Alkaline.
no, I agree with you when it comes down. I agree with you when it comes down to a team effort. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally. There's no, that Green Bay game. Obviously, we hate speaking about the past, but the past is the past.
Yeah.
That was a team total team loss. My issue, and I've said it before, is Dak has a problem with the bright light. When it's the big game that we need to prove that, hey, we are that team, he ain't showed up. And unfortunately, it seems like it's not. When he goes backwards, it seems like everybody digresses with him. That's the problem that's what I see. You know what I mean? And I've been a Cowboy fan. I think me and you folks stand there. I'm 47. So, I've been a Cowboy fan. I've seen the highs and the lowest of the low. I got a cousin that played for him that made the greatest trade of all trade, Hertz Walker. I'm a third cousin of him.
Okay.
So,
oh, wow.
It's like
and they brought him back twice.
Right. I'm deeply invested, when it comes down to it. So I look at it for what it is. My idea of what I feel Jerry's doing is holding everybody's feet to the fire, making everybody show up and say, hey, look, you say you're that good, I don't mind paying. We already know he'll pay. We know he'll pay. But he show me. Show me that you're with this $30 million you want a year, show up. You want $60 million a year, show up.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons, you want to be the highest defensive paid player, show up. Like, I agree. I agree to that effect. I'm not saying that they should get their money, because I believe,
Right.
you work that hard your whole entire life to get to that level of an athlete. I don't care what sport it is. You deserve your money.
Yeah.
Period. You work for free all that time. You deserve your money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do agree as a fan and looking at it as the objective side, not subjective, but the objective side.
Yeah.
I do agree. Show up. Because we did 5-12, or excuse me, 12-5,
12-5, yeah.
Kicking everybody's tail, the best offense in the league, the third best defense in the league, almost 3 years in a row, basically. Might as well say 3 years in a row, holding that statistic. Even when Philly went to the Super Bowl, we still were good. It wasn't like we were a piss poor team. We were a good team still, even then.
Well, here's the thing. The team is talented. The team is good. We get that, right? But here's the thing.
Right.
When the Eagles had to cut their grass, they had the zero-turn lawnmower. They had the guy to go invest into the zero-turn. When it's time for us to cut the grass, we could cut the grass. But we got the push lawnmower. And the expectations to get the grass cut is the same for us as it is for them. And we get the job done, but people don't look at the ideology that they using new equipment. They using all of this technology and stuff, and they getting the job done too. Meaning that, hey, it's easier for them to get it done, but it's harder. Man, there ain't no way on God's green earth that the Philadelphia Eagles would have went to that Super Bowl with a Noah Brown and some guys on the ancillary side of things as it relates to wide receiver and on defensive pieces.
Jerry Jones he's always been cheap when it came to free agents.
He's always been cheap.
Way back when we first got Jimmy Johnson, how many free agents did we really pull in? We only pulled a couple, and they were like prime time players. Look, Prime, Charles Haley, Ken Norton. These are guys that were like You know, like you could, and that was mainly Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy,
that wasn't Jerry. You know, that was Jimmy, and that's one of the reasons why they clashed, because Jimmy's like, look, we need this if you want to win, and you know, Jerry couldn't take credit for that. Now, you know, here we are 30 years later, Jerry's trying to pull a Jimmy, and the thing is, and obviously I watch all the sports critics, sports analysts and everything, and I would listen to you habitually, and everybody's right. Like, this is not the day and age that you can build. You can, because I mean, obviously Cincinnati did it. You know, you can build a Super Bowl caliber team. The thing is, though, there's several key positions that have to show up under those lights.
Right.
Period. And there's no way around it. And like I said, and I hate to say it because I like Dak 100%. I've liked him from when he took over Tony Romo. It was a godsend as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
I felt like it was a godsend. You know what I mean? But where I see his falter and I watch him at Alabama, I loved him at Alabama.
You mean Hell State? Yeah, Hell State. Yeah. When he played against Bama.
When he played at Alabama, what happened? The same exact thing.
Well, hold on. No, don't mess with my Mississippi boys because he stumped LSU that year. Yeah, he stumped LSU though. Yeah.
He stumped LSU. But who was the big dog in the SEC?
I mean, Alabama rolled tide, but I do get what you said collectively.
That's my point, and that's my point. Like I played ball too. So and I played college ball. I played for Villanova. You know, so I look at it from the standpoint. I look at people. I look at those facial expressions. And I compared that face that he had against Alabama to the same exact facial expressions every time he's played San Francisco.
Boss,
he got a dog face.
Boss, this is what I want to tell you though. Here's what great GMs do. I'm trying to take that face away from them, so I'm going to share responsibilities, right? And I'm gonna make it a little easier for them. You know, everybody, like I said, I use that analogy by cutting grass, right? That zero turn can go up that hill easily, but when you push lawnmower and shoot, you got to figure out ways to get up that hill. So what I'm thinking is, what the Cowboys should do is give Dak a run game. The dude is undefeated in the playoff when he got a run game, by the way. So, and there's only 2 wins with that. So give him a run game. Let's remove that face by giving him a run game.
We should have never let Derrick Henry get to the Ravens.
You should never let him get to that point.
When we play him this year, that's gonna come back to bite us. Mark my words on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Saquon Barkley is another one. We should have never let him get to Philly.
Well, if he can stay healthy,
easily picked up. You know, but the thing is, like, he's a back that you can throw the ball to him, and you know that he's going to take the pressure off.
Well,
he was all the Giants had.
Here's the other thing
too.
If it
wasn't for him, Daniel Jones wouldn't even have. They would even made the playoffs.
Yeah, I give you that.
If it wasn't for Saquon Barkley, they would have never made the playoffs.
Yeah. But man, I appreciate you, man. I got to get set up for this game, play by play. So I'm going to have to hang up this line and everything and open it back up. But I appreciate you, Voss. But let me hear you say it, though.
Yeah. How about them Cowboys?
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's Voss, man, with $18.99 water, man. There'd be a little old bitty bottle, man. I was like, God, dog, man. All right, so if you're on the line, you can stay on there, man. What we're going to do is, and we'll have the phone line open for a halftime, so we eventually get to y'all, man. So what we're going to do is hang up this one, and then we're going to bring back the play-by-play options for everybody. I got to change the title, put a new thumbnail up there. But I appreciate y'all, man. And this show was brought to you by Prize Picks, the pregame show. And look, everybody got their own flavor of ice cream that they like. People like to put other things in their coffee that they like and stuff like that. And I get all of that, right? But I'm going to tell y'all, you know, this is acquired taste law. You know, you got to acquire this particular taste to like my type of content. And if you do, hit the like button, share this content, and we'll be right back after these quick commercials, breaks, and what have you. Come on, baby. So DC for life, not for short. Appreciate everybody who supported this, and we'll be right back. And that's Voss with the V, not with the B. VOSS. Appreciate y'all.